This morning's devotion comes from John chapter 20. It tells us the story of Mary and Jesus' appearance. He says, Mary stood outside near the tomb crying. As she cried, she bent down to look into the tomb. She turned around and she saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't know it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she replied, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. I think it's interesting that Mary doesn't recognize Jesus at first. I wonder why. She was standing at his tomb. Doesn't seem that unreasonable that Jesus would be there, right? And I wonder why she doesn't. And I think it's because she wasn't looking for Jesus in that way. She was looking for Jesus to be in the tomb. And so when Jesus wasn't there, she of course went to the next most logical response, which is, well, somebody took him. And so she wants to do right by Jesus. And she asked the gardener, where to put him. And Jesus says, "Mary." And she recognizes him. I think we have to be listening with ears that are expecting to hear Jesus say our names. You see, if we look all over the place, we look all around, and we claim that we don't see Jesus, I think it's because we are not looking in the right place. We're looking in the tomb. We're looking in the place where there was despair and grief and hurt and anger, where the remnants of all of our hopes and dreams were. We were looking in the tomb, like Mary. But Jesus isn't in the tomb. Jesus is standing outside in the garden, waiting to say to us, "Mary," waiting to call us by name and to show us the path forward. And so we have a choice today about where we look and where we choose to live our lives. We can live in the tomb. We can live in there and we can stay in there with the cloth and the sackcloth and ashes and the dark and the damp. Or we can go into the garden and we can look for Jesus and wait for him to call our name.